Hello and welcome back to Place, and welcome to Zora's Domain. We're treasure hunting for monuments, stone monuments. Because if we find all 10 of them, we might get a clue to finding Zora's Helm, which will complete our armor set. Now, Dan Green said that the quickest way in here, I'm sorry, Princey Dawn said that the quickest way in is to just swim. I wonder if that was some kind of hint for when you had to come back. Because the quickest way, if we really wanted to enter the city, would be to fast travel to the shrine just underneath it. But what if it was a hint to the location of some of these things? Although, look at me, I'm a hard truffle. Hell yeah! Let's see. Monuments. Not seeing any monuments though. Has to be. Where the fuck are they all? I feel like we kept stumbling upon them. Oh, here's one. You can read this one. Wait, isn't this a... Yeah, it is. History of the Zora Part 1, The Eternal Zora's Domain, is told by King Dorothan. The domain is one giant sculpture, a feat of architecture that has drawn admirers the world over. The great domain will ever stand as a hallmark of those esteemed artists made an eternal symbol of Zora pride. In Hyrule Warriors, it's suggested that the monsters actually have an intelligence beyond Ganon. They actually exist. Even when Ganon isn't there, they're just not very nice. I mean, they're monsters. They're not nice people. Even so, like, when Ganon returns in Hyrule Warriors to, like, take control and, you know, raise an army, the monsters aren't actually interested in joining him. They're only forced to by him. And that's interesting. I wonder if they were allowed to do that, like if that was okayed by Nintendo, or they were just giving free reign and it was like, oh well, you do whatever you want. Cause like, what's his name? Is it Yuji Naka? No. One of those guys, one of the Japanese names, not Miyamoto himself, because he hasn't headed Zelda in years, but one of the guys, the guy who is basically the de facto authority on Zelda, who also actually co-designed Mario with Miyamoto, but not... Right. Miyamoto is just the face, you know, he's the face of the thing. This guy was the other guy. Part 2, Reservoir of Hope. He like said Hyrule Warriors is canon, but it's an alternate universe, kinda like Termina is an alternate universe. So if you wanted to, you could make it fit into the canon. But like, it's like an alternate canon. It is canon and it is official and stuff. But it's like an alternate canon. It's weird. Oh well. History of the Zora Part 2. Once every 10 years, the Lanayru region experiences unusually heavy rainfall. The Zora River flooded every time. The tides damage not only our domain, but our people, watching poor souls and causing great suffering and disarray. The Zora King of that time, after seeking aid from the King of Hyrule, rode out to see what could be done. By joining the architectural genius of the Zora and Hyrule's technological prowess, East Reservoir Lake was swiftly built. Thanks to this fruitful partnership, Hyrule was no longer plagued by these devastating floods. In gratitude, the Zora King promised the King of Hyrule to manage the reservoir level to protect all of Hyrule from floods. Each Zora King since has kept that oath, spanning 10,000 years. That is why the reservoir signifies our bond with Hyrule. That would put this a lot earlier on the timeline than I initially expected this game to be. I expected this game to be one of the later ones in the timeline, but if this is the origin of the Zora bond with Hyrule, in this timeline at least, that would make it... It could definitely be post Ocarina of Time, but I want to say it isn't. It probably is. I don't know. I don't think... I haven't read the Hyrule Historia, I should mention. I am not that nerdy. But it seems to me that Ocarina of Time is one of the first games on the timeline. And this game is probably one of the later ones. I actually love looking up game theories on Zelda and stuff, and like explanations and shit. I saw I believe it's Gaijin Goomba who talked about the Sheikah relation to some ancient Japanese origin people, the people that is usually considered like the progenitors of Japanese civilization, I believe. Like those guys apparently had a culture or a architecture and culture that the Sheikah of this game very much resemble. Like definitely watch. If you only ever watch one channel, I recommend to you, actually consider watching Gaijin Goomba. He also does videos for game theory, which I know has gotten quite a reputation after after MatPat gave the Pope a copy of Undertale, which still confuses me, but like the Gaijin Goomba himself also has his own channel, and he talks about like not just Japanese, but also like overall cultural references in video games, and explains like, okay, in this culture this means this and this, and as you can see, the game actually lives up to it by doing this and this and this, and it's like, oh, that is actually really interesting. I really like that kind of stuff. As someone who used to read a lot of mythology and theology, just as a hobby, that is immensely interesting to me. This is the light scale miracle, I believe. Part 3, Miracle of White Scale, is told by King Dorfin. Okay. Yeah, that is the... We already read that in previous episodes, this is why I'm skipping it. Oh, there's a... You know, a lot of people point out that it doesn't make any sense that the Zora would turn into the Ruto tribe, the bird tribe, when when you know Wind Waker is composed almost entirely of water. But the thing they fail to realize is that the Zora, as you know them from Ocarina of Time, are freshwater fish. And I don't know if you know anything about biology. I know very little about biology. But I'm pretty sure freshwater fish cannot survive in salt water. So, you know. Not that obvious of a flaw. When you actually go through the things, you can see how much thought has actually been put in to making, at least into making the timeline make sense. Now, a lot of people have started to say, oh, that means they already planned from the get-go that there was going to be a timeline. I doubt it, but I think what they did was they heard the fans wanted a timeline, a definite timeline, and then they just kind of looked at, okay, how can we explain this? And then maybe they had some experts just go through all the games and be like, okay, this makes sense, this doesn't make sense. Okay, put this one into this one, put this one into this one. That's why they came up with a free timeline theory instead of split timeline. History of Zora Part 4, the Light Skull Trident, is told by King Dorothin. The Queen and I were blessed with a daughter as lovely as a jewel. We named her Princess Mifa. To celebrate her birth, the smithy Dento presented Mifa with a gift, a mighty spear called the Light Skull Trident. Mifa grew into a bright girl and soon reached the age of receiving lessons from the royal family's Order of Knights. The whole of the royal guard adored her, especially Sergeant Secking, who loved her as if she were his own kin. Under Secking's instruction, Mifa honed her skills, and her radiance grew along with her skill with the Light Skull Trident. As a champion, Mifa made her people proud. However, once a great calamity struck, she was never to return. All of Zora's domain fell into misery. The merest thought of the princess was enough to overcome anyone with tears. As a way of offering her soul repose, they tried to send the Light Skull Trident drifting down the Zora River. But when they did, the Trident began to glow, and Mifa's voice rang out loud and clear for all Zora to hear. Light Skull Trident and I are one. Abandon your grief and know joy once again. Do not cry, just remember. And so, keeping to her request, on the day of the great calamity, the day that Mifa passed from this world, the Zora venerate the Light Skull Trident and remember their brave princess. Such is the origin of the Champion Festival. Damn. Everything related to Mifa is just so sad. Damn. Every time it's like, oh, I found something related to Mifa, and there's, oh no. It's sad. Everybody's going to get sad. Do the sad dance. God damn it. They really managed to make Mifa mean a lot to the player. At least to me. Is this the Dorothin one? We haven't found the Dorothin one yet. History of Zora Part 6. When the divine beast Varuda was first discovered, the Zora's domain might have dawned in mind for her to see it. Those present that day saw that an unusual sparkle of excitement in Mifa's normally calm eyes as she beheld Ruta. The princess spoke of the divine beast as she would a friend and was overjoyed when she chosen to pilot Ruta. I thought nothing of it at the time, but given the events that followed, I now regret allowing this to happen. I've spent many long years consumed by guilt. My dearest wish is that her soul will know peace. I pray for it every day. That is part 6, meaning we might have passed by part 5. Because the one that introduced Mifa as like this champion character, that was part 4. So we passed by one. Where's part 5? We're missing part 5 and part 7. And then we're missing the one dedicated to King Dorothin, I think. Which one is this? History Sora Part 7, the hero who defeated the Lionel, as told by King Dorphin. There was a time when the people of the land were threatened by the dread beast Lionel, who lived on Plumble Mountain. Sora... Okay. Time is taking its toll on this. That's Part 7, but where's Part 5? Well, here's one. Part 5! The Sage Princess Ruto, as told by King Dorphin. Long, long ago, in the past more distance than even the great calamity of the creation of the divine beast of Aruta, there was a Sora princess named Ruto. We know that she was an attendant to the Sora patron deity, and that she was a fair and lively girl beloved to all. Around the same time, an evil man with his signs on ruling the world appeared, bringing disaster upon Sora's domain. It is said that Ruto then awoke as a sage, facing this foe alongside the Princess of Hyrule and the hero of legend. Her achievements are remembered not only by Sora, they are also forever etched in the history of Hyrule. The divine beast Ruto, built ages later to face off against Calamity Ganon, was named in honor of Ruto. That the Sora princess, my sweet daughter Mifa, was chosen to pilot Ruto is surely the work of fate. And what is this? Is this supposed to be the ruins? Where my shit is? Hmm. Oh yeah, there's a box right in there. Okay. No shit. Okay. There it is! Damn! Well, we got the helmet, but we never found the thing dedicated to Dorphin. I was right fucking here by the guy. Fuck. Alright. Let's see. Addendum 1, King Dorphin stands his ground. After 100 years after King Dorphin ascended to the throne, a stray guardian crossed upland Serana into our domain. The guardian seemed unstoppable. Our best soldiers' spears barely left a scratch on its metal hull. It was then that our King Dorphin, who had fought for his own safety, came out to face the guardian himself. With supernatural strength, he lifted the guardian and hurled it into a ravine. The impact of the fall left the guardian in pieces that was never to trouble another Sora ever again. The citizens celebrated the Kings of Valor. From then on, their trust and respect for him grew beyond compare. You can still see the scar he earned that day on his forehead, a token of his triumph. See, that was the final one, so we actually passed it, I guess. Already. So... Let's fast travel to Nai's shrine. Cause like I had a feeling it was somewhere I had already looked and just missed, and I was right. It was. I looked it up, this last one. Cause I don't know. It's been over an hour, 1.5 hours. I think I could. I found all the others on my own. I feel like I deserve just looking the last one up. Alright. And the helmet I found on my own as well, so... like, I basically beat the mission by myself. Okay. It's not the spirit of the game, yeah, I know. Not the point. Point was I wanted it over with. Look at how cool I look. Zora really does have a cool architecture and style and shit, culture. I love how defined it is, like how thorough it is. Okay. Link, it would seem you have checked all the stone monuments for me. Now then, please tell me what was written on them. The history, culture, folklore, and various heroic acts of the proud Zora people is all here. Eureka! Thanks to you, have compiled the precious information for those stone monuments. Link, thank you for taking on such an arduous task. Please allow me to reward you. Okay. So this was the Zora Stone Monuments Marathon, which also gave us the helm, which we now have the full. If anyone forgot, the way to get the pants is to take a picture of the Lionel and show it to this girl right here, and she will give you the pants. And the armor you get from the story. So now you have the full Zora set, and it looks fantastic. Honestly, look at this. Yeah. Okay, well, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you tune next time for more shenanigans where we, I think we're gonna go find the next, big mission, the next big beast, I think, or we're at very least go and find a memory. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you tune next time for more shenanigans. Until then, bye.